Jim Toth on 680 CJOB.
Free for all Friday.
Free for all.
204-780-6868. The phone lines are open. Nothing to talk about, though, today, Jim. So...
Dog days of summer.
Nothing's going on. Jonathan Toews is going to be speaking live at 1 o'clock. We're going to be carrying that live right here on 680 CJOB following Free for All Friday and Jets at noon.
JT will kick off the JT show.
That's right.
With JT.
Yeah, JT 2.0. I mean, you're 1.0. Jonathan Toews 2.0.
Maybe Timberlake will join us. Maybe Jamie Thomas. We don't know. Maybe it'll be JT's
JT's everywhere. And, of course, Nikolaj Ehlers making it official that he is no longer a member of Winnipeg Jets yesterday afternoon, signing with the Carolina Hurricanes. So lots to get to here on a very special edition of Free for All Friday. Jets at noon brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on the text line and win a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method, 204-780-6868. Usually a text, but today, it's usually a call. Free for All Friday.
So don't send us a text going, you didn't read my text. We'll get to it if we don't have enough calls, for sure.
Yeah.
And we will get to the reheat on Monday with your text, but today's mostly phone calls.
And we'll announce the winner, of course, later on in the program as we're coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio for gourmet pizza and pasta. Bring the team to Boston Pizza. Got a text message here right off the bat here. This one's from Chris. Says Nick Ehlers ranked among all forwards over the last 3 seasons, 6th in 5-on-5 over 60 minutes, 19th in 5-on-5 on ice per game. 26th.
How many shifts, though? How many shifts?
See, this is exactly where we're going to go. Chris, I want you to go look at the shifts. I want you to look at shifts because we always hear this. This was bound to come up, and Chris, I really appreciate you coming up with this immediately. I'll read the rest of your text message here. 26th in all situation points per 60, 194th in all situations time on ice per game. These stats clearly show why Nick left. Among top in league at points production, but way down in ice time. Credit to him for staying positive while putting up with this. This is from Chris. I'm glad you brought this up, and we can get it out of the way in the beginning of the show here. Chris, I want you to go look at shifts. How many shifts did Nikolaj Ehlers have? Because on average, last year he had 1 or 2 shifts less per game than Kyle Connor. Okay?
Yes.
And I want you to also look at the style of game that Kyle Connor and Nikolaj Ehlers play. Nikolaj Ehlers goes out there, he enters the zone, the puck goes in, the puck goes out. It's back and forth, inside the offensive zone, outside the offensive zone. Kyle Connor takes the puck. He likes to hold the puck, as does Mark Scheifele in the offensive zone. That's how those two guys create offense. Nikolaj Ehlers does it off the rush, back and forth, finding that seam pass on transition. They play very different games. So if we're gonna talk, while you are correct in those stats, you're missing the context behind why they are the way that they are and why those numbers suggest one thing, but you're missing those numbers suggest one thing, but you're totally missing the context into it. You're missing the other tangible pieces of data that you need to also factor in to the information that you just and the stats and the analytics you just put forward. So while those analytics are correct, in my opinion, they're missing a heck of a lot of context.
Well, and the other thing I'll say is Nick Ehlers, career-wise, takes less shift time than anybody else.
Well, it's because he plays a different style of game than other players.
He's on the ice for an average of 45 seconds per shift. Other players are 50 seconds plus.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but predominantly.
Yeah.
But this was trending last night on social media after I got off the golf course. And I was just, sent out that I think that it seems to me now that this is done, the Winnipeg Jets and Nick Ehlers both were okay with trying something else, going in a different direction. Now, does that mean the Jets didn't want Nick Ehlers? No. They made him an offer, as Kevin Cheveldayoff said, that would make him a lifelong Jet. But I get the feeling as this drawn out, because Cam, I'm not surprised at the $8.5 million. I think he could have gone to lesser quality teams and made $9.5. I don't doubt that in my mind. I know people that cover a different team that said that they know the team is willing to pay him $9 million. So I think he left money on the table. What I'm shocked about is the 6 years. That is shocking to me. But this is what I mean by my tweet And people are saying, how can you even say that when they literally signed Jonathan Toews and tried to convince Nick Ehlers to stay? Is Jonathan Toews the second line center for the next 6 years here? So although that's appealing this year, it's also unappealing to the point where you might go, I don't know what Jonathan Toews is going to bring to the team, how dynamic that could be. But the other thing that I saw that was trending was the ice time. Like he averaged third line ice time. You had the highest scoring line in the National Hockey League 5-on-5 on this team. That line is going to play more. You also had one of the best checking third lines that often had second line minutes because of who they were playing against and defending. This team won the Jennings Trophy again for the least amount of goals against. Everybody likes to point to Nick Ehlers' ice time and go, oh, he was misused. Misused all the way to first in the National Hockey League, the Jennings Trophy, and the highest scoring line in the regular season. How was he misused?
Well, and also ask yourself this: why would the Jets bury him? If
they don't,
why would they bury him? For what purpose?
Now
honestly, ask yourself.
This is a loss.
It's 100% a loss. Nikolaj Ehlers is a fantastic hockey player, and the Carolina Hurricanes are a much better team for having him on their team, and the Winnipeg Jets are worse.
Are not as good today.
They're not as good by not having Nikolaj Ehlers on their roster. But I want you to ask you this question: if you are in the camp that the Jets buried him and didn't use him properly, why would they do that? Because I can't wrap my mind around any reason as to why they would.
It's so easy to go, he had third line minutes. But nobody mentioned the top scoring line in the National Hockey League. Not Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner, not McDavid and Draisaitl. I know they don't play together all the time, but not McKinnon and whoever, Rantanen or McKinnon and Natchez. The Winnipeg Jets had the number one scoring line in the National Hockey League this year.
Yeah.
The Winnipeg Jets finished first in the National Hockey League by playing amazing defensive hockey led by their third line, which is arguably the best defending third line in the National Hockey League, to the point of winning a second Jennings Trophy. I don't see a lot of quote-unquote misuse there. I see a lot of players playing their roles and helping this team, including Nick Ehlers, get to where they got to.
Call the Boston Pizza Jets at noon. Hotline open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Come in for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main, side, and ice-cold drink for only $15 only at BP. That number one caller who called that hotline, 204-780-6800, is going to be awarded a $50 gift certificate to Boston Pizza. We'll find out later on in the show who that was.
We got some calls. We'll still get to those. But this is the last thing I'll say about this.
Yes.
I just felt like it was, as this went on, Nick clearly wanted a change. He said he was okay with a change if it happened, but he wanted to be here.
Correct.
The Jets said we made him an offer, lifelong Jet if he wants it. They could have done 6 years and 8.5 in my mind. Maybe they did. Maybe they did 7 years, 8.5. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have any insight on this. Hopefully that comes out. But I just feel the Jets said, here's 7 years, maybe 8, at 7.5. That's where it fits for us. Love to have you. And I think Nick, could have got 9 somewhere else. He looked at Carolina, said, talk to the coach, 8.5, 6 years. But at 6 years, 8.5, you're not going to convince me there's not a marriage there here in Winnipeg if both sides wanted it.
The reports on Nikolaj Ehlers for years now have been totally accurate, by the way. What we've heard from David Pagnot on the fourth period, friend of the program, what we've heard from Leah Hextall with ESPN, she said something very along these lines. That he was looking for a change in scenery. He didn't want to request a trade. He wanted to be in Winnipeg. He wanted to play with his teammates, all that stuff. But he was welcome to a change. And that's exactly what happened here.
Would you pay him as much as Hellebuck and Scheifele?
No, I wouldn't.
And maybe that was the problem, right? I think the Jets would love to keep him. I think they offered him more term. I do. Yeah. That's what I believe. I have no insight on that. That's my belief. I don't know if they were going to go as high as 8.5.
Let's go to the phones. Hey, Bailey, what's up?
And my point is they could have if they really, really, really wanted to keep Nick.
Hey, Bailey, what's going on?
I was wondering what you guys thought about Brad Lambert possibly being Ehlers' replacement in the top 6 during the season.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Bailey.
I think he's got a chance.
I think he has a chance. I think that there has been a call. If it hasn't happened now, it will happen in the near future from Scott Arniel to some of those guys like Brad Lambert, like Nikita Chiberkov. I would even throw Braden Yager into that as well. And the phone call is, look at what Dylan Sandberg did, stepping into the role that into the hole that Brendan Dillon left. He excelled. It's like, it's here for the taking, guys. Come in and get it.
And I think there's a chance, Bailey, but I also don't know if that's the fit right away, but we'll see.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff that needs to shake out too. I mean, like Gabriel Velarde, Dylan Sandberg, as I just mentioned, Morgan Barron, they're RFAs. They need new contracts. So the dollar figure available, like if there is a trade out there, I think the Jets are going to look at it. But it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. Hey, look, the salary cap has gone up and it's going to be tight, right? So, but thanks so much for the call. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bailey.
Yeah, no, great call there from Bailey. 204-780-6868. Let's take a break. Let's come back. On the other side, Free For All Friday, 204-780-6868. The phone lines are jammed. If you're on the line, don't go anywhere. We'll get to more of your calls after this. We are going to continue to talk. The Nick Ehlers signing with the Carolina Hurricanes, 6 by $8.5 million. And Jonathan Toews is going to be speaking live at 1 o'clock. We'll carry that live right here on 680 CJOB with Scott Arniel and Kevin Cheveldayoff. And I'm sure conversations at some point.
Two things here, right?
It's going to turn to Ehlers.
Toews, and then it's going to turn to Ehlers.
Absolutely. We'll be right back.
680 CJOB.
Let's squeeze some text. Let's squeeze a call in here, but I want to read a text message. This texter says, Cam, you can't have it both ways. All the time you prove your personal point. Someone gives the stats about Ehlers and you tell them that the stats are correct, but you're basically missing the eye test on how he plays. But last month when people were talking about Hellebuck can't win in the big games or in the playoffs, all you do is spit out the analytics. No, I'm a total analytics data-driven guy, but you have to understand the context of the data. That's it. You can't, if you're just focusing specifically on numbers without understanding the whole picture, you get lost within them. And you need to understand the full context behind the numbers. And there's also stuff. Numbers should you be used as a predictor, but there's always other stuff. And if you're just focusing on ones and twos and threes, you're going to miss the bigger picture. And then you're going to get yourself in trouble. And I wholly believe that. Let's get Greg on the line. Hey, Greg, what's up? Welcome to Jets at Noon on Free For All Friday. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, guys. How are you?
Good.
Thanks.
Good. I just wanted to.
Oh, you got to turn your radio down, Greg.
Yeah, just bring it down a touch.
I had 2 points to make, fellas. Number one, Nick Ehlers was a great player, but his injuries really gave me pause. And this year, he finally played a large number of games. That's it. He's going to a team. Second point, he's going to a team that plays a style that's a grinded out, hit the crap out of each other's style of play. Unless that team's looking to change their style, does he fit?
Well, that is a wonderful point, Greg.
This is interesting, Greg, because Rod Brindamore and the Carolina Hurricanes play the same style as the Jets. It's forechecking hard. It's a hard defense, a 200 north-south game.
Exactly.
And Nick Ehlers isn't a north-south player, but he can fly, he can skate, and that is a big part of the Carolina Hurricanes. I think, Greg, this is a bold move by Carolina going, we need to score more. So instead of having all these hard, heavy north-south people with skill, let's bring in a guy who can sort of create a little more, because that's been their problem in the playoffs over the years, is they just run into teams where they're scoring 1 goal a game.
Greg, I like your call so much, I'm going to give you the VIP car wash from my good friends at
Great
Wash
point,
Method.
Greg.
How does that sound?
My car needs a bath.
Oh, it does.
There you go.
You also need romance in your
romance,
life?
Greg, or are you doing fine there?
I think the wife and I are going to go for a date.
There you go.
That's all you need. Wash Method. That's it.
She's probably listening right now just going, oh, thank
You know
heavens.
what? Pack a couple of egg salad sandwiches.
No, she's not.
Pack a couple egg salad sandwiches in the cooler there while you're going through
you
Wash
go.
Method. That's all you need, bud.
It's better that she's not listening because you just tell her, I did this for us
Thanks,
on
Greg.
my own.
I'm going to pop you on hold. You're going to talk to our producer, Jeffrey Forche.
Egg salad in a car wash. You're a brave man.
Call the Boston Pizza Jets at Noon hotline open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Coming for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15 only at BP. We're going to award that $50 gift certificate later on in the show. The phone lines are jammed. Jets talk. Ehlers, Toews when we come back. Jets at Noon is brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on the text line. Has already won a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method, 204-780-6868. Winner Greg taking home that VIP car wash. Still up for grabs all next week, though. as we're coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio for gourmet pizza and pasta. Bring the team to Boston Pizza. Hey, we're also carrying Jonathan Toews, who will be speaking live at 1 o'clock with Scott Arniel and Kevin Cheveldayoff at 1 o'clock right here on 680 CJOB following Free for All Friday. You want to go back to the phone lines there, Jim Toth?
Yes, phone lines are jammed. Let's get your takes.
Hey, Justin.
Free for all.
Welcome to the show. Justin, what's going on, dude?
Hey, Cam and Jim. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, how are you?
It's been a sad 24 hours. We lost Ehlers, and the Bombers got kicked around like a rodeo clown last night. So
Yeah.
That is a great analogy, like a rodeo clown.
That's
Those
a good
guys
one.
take a beating sometimes.
Yeah. They got run over by like a...
It's a stampede, so that's why.
Yeah.
My personal opinion is I think Ehlers left for more opportunity, and if he goes on the first line and he gets to play with Aho and Jarvis, well, that's a free-for-all for him. He can do whatever he wants, can rack up the points. But if he goes on the second line, that's a huge drop-off. It's Jesper, Kotkaniemi, and Blake.
Yeah.
That might be a step down from what he would be playing with here. What's your guys'
Well,
take on that?
I keep saying this about Jonathan Toews. I want to fast forward to January so that we can really have an absolute conversation on him. I feel the same way about Nikolaj Ehlers. And I'm going to watch his points total and all that stuff very, very closely over the course of the season. Because I think that all the point that you're bringing up, Justin, and the point that Greg brought up, I think are very, very valid. Darren Dreger, TSN's Darren Dreger was talking about him, wanting a quieter place. Well, that's certainly what he's found there in Raleigh, and I think he feels like he's in a better situation to excel there. And listen, that's his right. That's his right to go there and go after that.
Whatever you think Jonathan Toews might be this season and next, it's not for the next 6 years. I'm sorry. I don't see the Jets doing the Brad Marchand 6-year deal at second line center. So Kotkaniemi is a decent player. Jackson Blake, I actually really like. He had 17 goals, 17 assists, 34 points in 80 games in his first full season. I think he's got upside, but I don't see Jackson Blake on that line for long. I think Logan Stankoven's a second-line player, and it could be Kotkaniemi. But again, look, that's what honestly pushes me to. I just think it was, hey, we'd like this to happen, and Nick, yeah, I would like this to happen, but there wasn't a lot of, hey, we have to make this happen. Mm-hmm. I think both sides would have liked to have kept this relationship going to a point. And I think from a certain point it got to from both sides that we're okay with change as well. I think a contract offer was made, and if it was accepted, they'd be more than happy to keep him here. I don't know if they would have gone above and beyond and kept. I don't get that feeling, and that's just my gut feeling. I don't have any insight on that. And the same with Nick. I think Nick would like to be here, and I think Nick would like to get 8.5, just like Scheifele and Hellebuck and all the other core players that he grew up with. But then if it's not going to happen, he's also okay with a change. I don't think it was a mutual, hey, we're done. Yeah, I'm done too. But I think it was a, hey, this is it. Oh, okay, thanks. We're both fine with if it doesn't happen. And I think that's what happened. That's just my feeling.
Thanks for the call, Justin. Appreciate it.
A quick question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Are you guys in the media able to ask Chevy what the deal was? Do you think he would answer you guys?
I don't think we could ask him.
But he won't. I don't think he's going to, his natural response has always been, I'm not going to talk contract details or.
Yeah, and he shouldn't.
If it comes out, it would be more Ehlers in an interview saying, hey, this is what the Jets offered me. But I have a hard time, unless Kevin Cheveldayoff gets mad. In the 14 plus years I've been covering this team, both daily at the rink and then now just in the studio and stuff from afar, the two times I've heard Kevin Cheveldayoff talk numbers is when he got mad. I think it was when Tanner Glass and somebody else left. He said, well, we offered them more. Mm-hmm. That's the first time I was stunned that he said that about players. And the 99% of the time it's, I'm not going to talk contract details.
Yeah. So, all right, Justin, thanks so much.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks, Justin. You too.
Yeah,
maybe today he comes out and goes, we offered him 7 years at the same price. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll be listening for that at 1.
Well, for Brendan Dillon,
but I doubt it.
If I'm recalling correctly from last year, he said there was a question asked, like, did you make an offer? And he said it was a competitive offer. I think it was about the same. That was my sort of read on. So he'll allude to something, but he won't ever get. I don't think he's ever.
And if it was the same, I don't blame Brendan Dillon because I think he can see that Dylan Sandberg's more than ready.
Hey, Darwin, what's going on?
I just wanted to say if maybe the Jets can make a trade for Jason Robertson, or maybe even better from Anaheim Ducks and Mason McTavish.
Well, I like Mason McTavish. I like both of those players.
Yeah, I think it would be ridiculous of Dallas to trade Jason Robertson. I really do. But they might be. But I think the Jets should honestly inquire. The problem with trading with Dallas is they're in your division, right?
Yeah.
But that being said, we've seen some moves within the division, the Blues and things like that. I like this is what I think has to happen at the second line center, and it's probably not going to with Jonathan Toews here for at least a year and maybe two, who knows how much longer. But I think the Jets have to take some risks, and if it's Marco Rossi or Mason Marchment in Anaheim, if those teams think they're $5 million players and potential second line centers, the Jets have to go, here's $7 million for 7 years and take a risk to get a player to sign an offer sheet or something. I don't know if they would do it for those players. That's where the team would go, I don't think it's worth it for that player. But I do think if the Jets want to go for it here, then, and I think they have to take some risks.
I think this so much is sort of up on how the Jets feel about Braden Yeager and where his game has gotten to and where they expect it to go.
And even if they make a trade, like I was hot on the Natchez last year. And I thought but remember what the ask was for Natchez. It was Cole Perfetti on somebody else. So Natchez is now, we hear, or reports are unhappy playing with McKinnon in Colorado. Not unhappy playing with McKinnon, but not happy there. He's got 1 year left. Would you trade another 5 or 6 years of Cole Perfetti for 2 seasons of Natchez? Like, that's what the Jets face, right?
Yeah.
Those are the decisions they have to make. And watching Cole Perfetti develop this year, I don't know if I would do that now, but I was hot and heavy at the time, and I still think that that's a trade of some magnitude, but it's going to cost you.
Thanks so much, Darwin. Appreciate the call.
And we need a defenseman.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at like the core, the top 4 is set. Like it's Josh Morrissey, Dylan DeMello, Neil Pionk, Dylan Sandberg. Yeah. So what else do you think that they need on a bottom pairing?
Coming, if not this year, next.
Yeah.
Top physical hitting defenseman. I know Logan Stanley. I hope he's traded. Maybe they'll give Billy a chance, but probably not. But we need another top hitting physical defenseman.
Oh yeah, they have for next year is still signed by the Winnipeg Jets, Luke Shen, and he throws his body around.
Luke Shen is pretty good. Yeah, I think he'll be here for another year.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He's under contract. Thanks so much for the call, Darwin. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Darwin.
Have a good day.
Yeah. Thanks so much for the call. Let's get to Corey. Hey, Corey, what's on? What's going on?
Just heading down the road here, driving the bus. Hey, you know what? I've been following the Jets since I was a squirt back in the 80s. You know, I played a little bit of junior hockey myself. Now I luckily get to watch a lot of WHL games, being a part-time driver with the Vikings last year. But I got to say something, you know. The Jets got a solid team, and it's always going to be the best team wins. And you know what? It's sad to see Nick go, but nowadays, you know what? 60 points is $8.5 million. So we needed 60 points on a tougher guy. So what's that, a $9 million guy? Well, he wasn't available. So let's stick with the guys that we got down in the minors. Let's develop a guy. The last guy we developed is Cole, and look at him now. He's
Sandberg
blossoming.
too. Yeah, Sandberg as well.
So let's bring up a guy, you know, and if later into the season we get a trade to bring someone in, great. But, you know, we can do that. But right now, as part of any good team, we got to keep feet.
Well, Corey, it's an opportunity, right? It is an opportunity presented. And listen, the Jets have built their President's Trophy last year on guys grabbing opportunities and rolling with it. And,
well, you know, and that's the truth.
Yeah, it is. But the Jets also, they have not rushed players in any capacity. They have not rushed a single player in my mind and put them in a position where they would not succeed coming out of the Moose or whatever. They haven't or you know, moving them up in the line. They have not moved a guy up if they didn't feel like that guy was ready to take that on. And also if they've had to prove it.
And that's what I mean about it. They would like to stay together or have liked to stay together. I don't know if they were. I just, to your point about, I wonder if the Jets after 10 years are like, maybe it's time to change. Maybe it's time to look at somebody else there that maybe is 60 points, but maybe it's Alex Tuck. Maybe it's, you know, just a bigger body, more physical. I wonder if they're kind of looking at that, hey, we'd like to keep you at this, but if we can't, then maybe it's time for a change. And that's what I feel was the situation. I never felt all season long that there was a desperate cry from either side to make this long term. I felt there was interest and want to, but I never felt like, ooh, like Kyle Connor needs a contract. I bet you we need to make this happen.
Yeah.
That where I felt with Nick is we would like to make this happen at a certain parameter. And if it doesn't, maybe it's time for a change. That's the feeling I got around it.
Corey, we got to go. Sorry, go ahead. We got to go, though.
Okay, one final point. I already think we got the next Nick in our system, and I don't think he helps Carolina. He's just another one of a bunch of players they already got.
Okay, thanks a lot, Corey. Appreciate it.
I'm fascinated by what he does in Carolina.
Yeah, so am I. Oh, totally. Hey, Trent, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks. I'm going to try to make this quick. I might lose ownership soon. Nobody's talking about Nemesnikov, Iafallo, and the roles that they can play. Iafallo jumped up the first line when Velarde was injured. Here's my thought. Why don't we stick with what we got for now, fly under the radar, lose a bunch of games that we have to find out what Toews is. Toews knows he's ready to play in the NHL. We know he's ready to play, but where? So put him in 3-4 for now until Lowry's back. Then you can figure out what we can do with Velarde. Velarde's played center. Nemesnikov's played center. You can move over to wing pretty easily. I think they've got the pieces that they need right now. And come trade deadline, make a move if you need to. I mean, St. Louis was last in the league when January came around a couple of years ago, and they won the Cup. So that's my take.
I don't want to knock Nick because I think Nick's a great player. But they've seen large portions of seasons without him. He's been injured for multiple games at a time, and they've been pretty, again, are the Jets as good as they were yesterday? No, they're not. This is a loss.
It definitely is, 100%.
But
a major loss, if we're being honest.
I don't think it's an insurmountable loss.
No, I don't think so either.
I think that they need to figure some things out, get some stuff going, but it's a loss. But they have played a number of games, a number of seasons without him for a long time. He's better in the lineup than out. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think this is some loss that's going to devastate the organization and set them back.
Thanks a lot, Trent. Appreciate it. Take care. All right, I'll let Trent go there. 204-780-6868, 204-780-6868. Phone line's open. Text line is open. Let's take a break. Let's come back. On the other side, coming up right after 1 o'clock, less than 15 minutes away, Jonathan Toews will be speaking live with Scott Arniel and Kevin Cheveldayoff. We'll be carrying that live right here on 680 CJOB following Free For All Friday.
Free for all.
Download the Jets at Noon podcast free now on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you find your favorite podcast with exclusive Jets talk and content only found there. And take Jets at Noon wherever you go and continue the conversation whenever you want. We give our initial feelings on Nick Ehlers. And his departure to Carolina in that podcast. Don't miss that latest edition. We'll be right back. We'll go back to the phones, and we'll see if we can squeeze in some of your text messages as well. We'll be right back.
On 680 CJOB.
Quick note as well, northbound Main down to one lane at Magnus due to the working fire. Traffic backed up almost to Euclid. Mr. Chance, get your thoughts on the show today. Call the Boston Pizza Jets at Noon hotline, open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Come in for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15. Only at BP. The number one caller will be awarded a $50 gift certificate to Boston Pizza on Friday. And that caller today is Nobby Wu.
Hi, Cam and Jim. This is Nobby Wu speaking. Just want to let you know your show is the ultimate in fan enjoyment.
Oh, stop.
It's rational. It's down to earth. It takes the emotion out of it. I'm just not emotionally scared of anything anymore. You guys are a great therapy session. In terms of therapy session, I wondered if you can analyze this comparison for me. I have the Vancouver Canucks actually having a resurgence this year, similar to what the Jets have been doing for the past few years. Here's what we see. J.T. Miller is their Blake Wheeler. Quinn Hughes is their Josh Morrissey. Brock Besser and Thatcher Demko sign, surprisingly, with the Vancouver Canucks, just like 55 and 37 did here. Is Adam Foote the new Scott Arniel? So that means we have a hometown son signing here in Jonathan Toews. But does that mean Kane is their Jonathan Toews? Thanks again. Good day.
I like that call from Nobby. Listen, I don't think the Canucks are going to be. I don't think they're as good of a team as the Jets. I also don't think the Vancouver Canucks. I think they're going to be a playoff team next year, but it's going to be close. And maybe they're building towards something, but
I don't know playoffs how much or whatever.
Yeah.
I do think they're going to be better than last year. I think last year was one of their, I don't think they're a great team, but I think they're a good team that really just was under it last year. I think they're better than what they were last year.
I appreciate all the work there, Nobby. I mean, bringing in all those parallels, but Evander Kane and Jonathan Toews, I don't know about that. Hey, Jamie, what's up? Welcome to the show. You're our last caller.
Howdy. You know what? Nick Ehlers is a dynamic game breaker, but like you guys referenced earlier, he is a bit fragile. And his line mates have to play with them. Like when we had injuries, when he was playing with Lowry, I thought that was perfect. He made space, Lowry hammered people, and it worked. But you have to build a line around Ehlers. He can't just slot in anywhere. I would give Ehlers money to Tanev. I wish we had kept him. Like just that kind of energy and intensity.
Yeah, Jamie. That's such a good point you bring up about Ehlers too. Yeah.
Look, I think he's going to score 60 points in Carolina.
Yeah, I think he's going to get 65, 70 for sure. Well, he'll get close to 70, I think.
I'll be interested. I'm going to watch, and I'm a fan. He's a really good guy too. Like he cares and stuff. So I wish him all the best. But I will watching him. I don't know if he's
him, but he's fragile. How many times has he been so badly beat up coming the playoffs? It just takes like one Sam Bennett to run him over.
Yeah.
No, that's true. But he's also.
And we got this $6 million hole, or what did he get? What did he get in Carolina?
8.5.
Yeah, thanks, Jamie.
He also was injured a lot.
Give him 8.5 if he's going to be broken the first game of the playoffs when the Sam Bennett of whatever team we're playing runs him over.
Yeah, Jamie, we got to go. I'll give you the last word on that. Hey, great show,
I do want to say
everybody.
this. He was a little fragile. He was also fearless, right? Like he played bigger than he was.
Listen, Nick Ehlers was not going to go to a team where he didn't think he could win. Nick Ehlers is a driven guy. He wants to win hockey games.
And that's the part we haven't talked about. They're always in and around it. Always.
Yeah.
They're always in the playoffs, and then it's closer to his family in Florida, his sister and stuff.
Toews we'll taking the Jonathan Toews availability live. It's getting going it's scheduled for less than 5 minutes here. Jim Toth will carry things up. Thank you very much, Jeffrey Fortier, for producing the show. See ya.